Good morning, my friends, and welcome to the Space Game Junkie Podcast. I, as always, am your co-host, Brian, and joining me for these early morning shows is your co-host, Spaz.
Hello.
It is 6 a.m. here on the west coast of the U.S., and we are getting up as early as we are because we are talking to the developer of Avorion, who is in Germany. Joining us from Germany is Constantin. Oh my God. Was I close?
Hi.
I tried. Constantine. I tried. I really tried.
Constantine's fine. Just Constantine.
I don't want to butcher your name. I don't want to butcher your name, man. I don't want to be like...
No worries. You're just saying the American way. That's fine. It's like saying Michael and Michael. You know, it's the same name, just another pronunciation. It's fine.
That's a good way to put it. So, folks, we are here to talk about Avorion. We've talked about Avorion before, like a few years ago when it hit early access, and after a amazing journey through early access that I do want to talk about, the game is about to hit 1.0, that's amazing. I mean, I'm so happy. I'm sure you guys are happy too. I'm sure you guys are thrilled, but it's been a hell of a journey, and let's first talk about what Avorion is. For those who might not know, because there are a lot of games out there. How would you describe, what would be your elevator pitch for Avorion?
Well, the elevator pitch would be go build a ship and go blow stuff up or trade. Basically, save the galaxy or don't. We don't judge. You know, you can do whatever you want.
Nice. So folks, the game has been in early access for a while, and I have to say, I've seen fewer games go through such a wonderful period of early access as this game. I mean, I could count maybe on maybe one and a half hands the games I've seen that have had as good an early access period. In terms of my perspective as a fan and someone who follows the genre, you've had a very open, busy, positive early access period, and at least that's how it seemed for me. How did it go for you guys?
Well, at first it was really, really busy. You know, we were really overwhelmed because in the beginning, sales were going really well, and that meant that there were tons of new people playing the game, and then just people giving feedback, reporting bugs, basically from every corner of the internet that we went to. We had like people telling us that the game is amazing, or that doesn't work, that's great, that doesn't work, and so on. So it was a little overwhelming at first, but I think that over time we kind of got like more used to this feedback, and after the initial push, things calmed down a little, and we had more time to like actually address issues and to actually like what's the word, to actually implement the feedback that people gave us, you know.
And it must have worked well, because you guys put out patch after patch after patch, and a lot of them were pretty significant patches. And I love how you guys also put out beta patch notes. Like, I don't know about you guys or you guys in the chat, but I love when game developers update their Steam feed with patch notes. I love patch notes. I just like, what did they work on? What did they change? What did they fix? What did they add? I love and you guys have great patch notes. So that kind of transparency must have really helped.
Yeah, I think so too. So it's something that I like to do too. You know, just read patch notes and stuff, and just get the latest changes and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do as a developer as well. So when we release a patch, we always put it first on the beta branch, which is just our like opt-in test environment. And for that, we release patches quite regularly. you don't get as many patches on the stable branch than you get on the beta branch, because on the beta branch we're just also testing experimental changes, and save games might break because we have to like try things out. And when things then are ready on the beta branch, we move them to the default branch, and that's when we do like update notes, which is basically patch notes summed up in normal text that's not as long and not as detailed, but we always link the patch notes too. So yeah, that's basically our workflow that we've been having, and so far it's been going well. I think that's also something that we're going to continue in the future.
Oh, I'm sure. Now, I have to say, now that we're getting close to 1.0, I've spent at least a couple hours over the last few days with the game, and I have to say I am insanely impressed. Folks, if you know me, folks, you know I hate building ships. I hate it. I don't have the patience for it. It's just like, just give me a ship to fly. I don't want to build anything. Just give me a thing and let me go mine or kill. That's basically how I feel. But your ship builder is so efficient and fast and well constructed. Well constructed. That it was not hard or annoying or tedious for me to make a ship. So I have to congratulate you there, and that's a huge part of the game, is building these ships. And that's a huge part of this game, is just building your ship, building your first ship. You can't go around with a drone the whole time, Well, could you go around with a drone the whole time if you wanted to? I mean, that'd be crazy, but could you?
Well, in theory, you could, sure, yeah. That's no problem at all. It might not be the best idea. I mean, in principle, the drone would work all the way. It's just that, like, once you get to like the medium progress or something, you're gonna meet the persecutors, which is basically mean evil ships that are just there to like blow you up if you go too far too fast, because we had people just skipping to the through to the center of the galaxy, just ignoring everything else, and that's not how we meant this game to be played. And so we built in like these barriers, enemies that just look for weak ships, and they have like really mean weapons, and they follow you for a while. And that's like our way of telling players that no, you have gone too far. You're in a region where you shouldn't be yet. Just like in a game when you go like in WoW, when you go to a region where others are way overleveled. You just get blown up in like with one hit. There's just this random small crab, and it's like level 80, and you're level 10, and it just bites you, and you're dead. And in a way, that's what happens here. So we have these persecutor ships that just attack you. They use torpedoes, so even when you're small, torpedoes will blow up next to you if they are close enough, And so you can do it in the drone, but at some point you're gonna start having a really bad time. So shipbuilding is recommended a lot.
Absolutely. And I did have a question about that. I started off with a pretty small ship, and the game would not stop warning me that my ship was too small. And it's like, well, wait, I need to mine a lot more, I guess, to make a bigger ship, but I need to find the materials to get generators and whatnot too, because you can't build generators right off the beginning, and you need power. But I love how much thought and detail has been put into the ships themselves. Like, you have to have crew, you have to have energy, you need the right thrusters and engines and everything, and it just all really makes sense. So I really like how, like, yeah, you can build the wackiest thing in the world, but like, why?
Actually, we tried to make the editor support like as wacky a design as possible. For example,
really?
we didn't want things to be too realistic when it comes to ship design, because we wanted people to have like very intricate designs with like maybe small parts that connect bigger parts, which would obviously be a weak point. But in the end, we had to think, well, is this still fun? We still wanted people to have like a cool ship, and still have fun. So what we did is we adjusted the life of these parts, like these smaller parts, when there's a huge part connected to them, so that they don't break as easily, for example. So we're trying to support people like building very intricate ships as well. That's something that's built into the editor that we've done on purpose. It's and yeah, so that was something that was very important to us, to have a good balance between an artistic approach and still like not being too realistic, to still be fun. Because if we made everything super realistic, it wouldn't be a very fun game.
That's fair. I have to be honest. I've only seen a few ships, and the designs are kind of fascinating. Now, I'm primarily a single player, so I have to appreciate that you made the game single player as well as multiplayer, which is great. That because everyone's like, "Can I have multiplayer? Can I have multiplayer?" So well done there. But I have to admit to being very pleasantly surprised at how much was going on in a single player game. Like that's a tough thing to do, to make a universe feel alive. In a single player game with lots of ships and they're talking and there's lots of stuff going on, but you've made the universe feel very alive for a single player game. And I have to ask, how the hell did you do that?
Well, we actually collected lots of feedback from people, what they think would be like best to do. Well, at first we just added other ships, but that didn't make it very much more alive, because other ships, they just fly around, but they could just as well be like blowing rocks or something, because they don't act very different. So what we thought, what makes like a city be alive, and it's just tons of stuff going on, like cars driving around, people walking around, having like advertisements and all that stuff. And we actually wanted to like capture all these various aspects. And so we added some chatter. We added advertisements to stations, as you might have noticed with the latest generator update, and all that makes everything like a little more colorful and a little more alive, like you said it. And we also have plans in the future to add even more stuff to that. Like we want to do something that's been pushed back all the time, sadly, because there were just more important things to do at the time, was that we wanted to add like little shuttles that just fly around for flair, just to make it feel alive. Although there are a lot of intricacies that come with those shuttles, because what happens when the player blows them up? They're just meant for like visuals, they're not something that should be always be interacted with. So what happens when the player tries to blow them up? We have to react to that. And so just making like such a little feature can actually have like a very, very long tail, you can say, attached to it. So that's why, for example, this one feature has always been like pushed back a little all the time, because we were like, there's so much things that come with it, that we have to deal with and that we don't want to deal with at the moment. Even though it would be cool to have it, there are just so many consequences that would come from adding such a little feature. And even though it would look amazing, we tried it out and it would look amazing, but we can't yet like really do it yet. So yeah, but we're always working on making it feel more alive, and feel as realistic as we can make it feel, because in the end, we're still not an MMO. It's still
Right.
single player experience, and well, not exclusively, but it's a lot of people play it in single player, and so that's the experience that we are mostly focusing on.
And I have to
Brian?
say, what?
Brian, sorry. I
Yeah.
think we need to do a server switch. We're getting some echo.
Oh, okay. 1 second. Doing it live, folks. That's the fun of doing it live. All right, we are now on the Europe server. So,
Okay.
does that sound better?
I think it is.
Okay, good. So I have oh oh boy, I don't hear Constantine anymore.
Uh-oh.
Are you there, buddy?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh,
there we go.
perfect.
Sorry about that. Some Discord can be finicky. But it sounds like you're back now. Sorry about that, folks.
Yeah, I hear you, and yeah.
All right, so I have to say, I love your analogy of a city. That is such a great way to look at a populated, busy sector in a space game like this. You have businesses, you have people doing their jobs, flying around, talking to each other. I actually absolutely love that. That sounds about right.
Yeah, that's the angle that we were going for. So it's just what will work, But like I said, we have to still see if we can go further on that, and if yes, how much. Like I said, like we want these small shuttles and maybe some ferries going around and people doing business, just like you said, yeah, all that stuff. But well, we'll see in the end. Right now we have to focus on polishing things up, for release. That's what we've been doing the past 3 weeks, and what's happening this week as well. Well, aside from podcasts, and yeah, so
Right.
so that's basically it.
Yeah, see, okay. I was just listening to myself to try and hear this echo that you guys heard, and I don't really hear it. Do you guys hear it now?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
the server switch fixed it.
hopefully, whatever that was a Discord issue and not a me issue. So, I gotta say one thing I'm very excited about with this game, and one of the reasons I'm gonna play it more is I love that the map has like dots on it that are like, hey, something's happening here. You should check this out. Like, I love that because it encourages you to like go all over the place, right? Because you want to uncover all the map, and the maps are procedurally generated, which are amazing. And I'm guessing they're huge. There
are a million sectors.
Oh my god, 1 million?
Yeah, 1 million. Well, there's not going to be content in each single one,
Sure,
but in about 100,000, like in 10%, 10% of 1 million is still 100,000, and in approximately 100,000 sectors, you can find something. There's going to be content there.
So, how does that remain playable with 100,000 sectors having something going on? Because I know you're not rendering that for the player, but there's still got to be some kind of.
Oh my god. Well, when you play Avorion, what happens is only the sectors next to you are simulated. Like only the sectors that you might have immediate access to, only those are generated and simulated. So basically, the game is generated on the fly while you're exploring it. So, for example, when you put the coordinates of a sector into your hyperdrive, then it's gonna take about 5 seconds to like calculate the coordinates, which is basically a masking for the time that it takes to generate the sector on the server. So also, when I say server, I mean a local single-player server, and not actually online.
I love
single player is single player.
I love how clear you are about that. Like, we're generating a server on your computer. It's not connecting to anything. Don't worry about it.
Yes, I feel like I have to say this a lot because we are always getting reports about that. How is this single player if we're still playing on a server? Well, the server is running on your local PC. There's no one else there. Trust me, please. I'm being serious. It's just we just did this because it was easier to implement because we didn't have to write code twice then, you know?
Oh, no, and, it totally makes sense. It totally makes sense. It's just because of the language involved, because it's a server, people are like, wait, I don't want to play online. You're not playing on, not every server is connected to the internet. It's basically a program running on your machine that's called a server. Oh my God.
Yes, exactly. We even changed some wording in the game to clarify that, you know, it's basically it's no longer called a server when you're single player, but it's called a local instance of the game, you know, and that clarified some stuff. It's the same thing, but it's less confusing to people, you know. So yeah. But to get back on to the simulating thing, so basically what happens is that you're when you go explore, everything is just generated. Only thing that have to be generated are generated. So if you don't visit a sector, it's not going to be there. You know, it's just going to be. It's not going to be saved to your hard disk or anything. And only once you actually enter the coordinates, it's going to be generated and then also simulated. The only exception we make is for sectors that have player ships in them, because those have to be simulated, because those player ships might be mining or there might be stations present who have to like produce stuff, factories, shipyards, refineries, all that stuff. So these are the things that we keep like loaded in memory and simulated. So basically when you are flying around, basically when you're flying around in the world, you only have like 5 sectors around you simulated, plus each sector where you have a ship.
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
That does make a lot of sense. Now, since there's a multiplayer component, could someone, and I haven't done this, that's why I'm asking, I'm sure other people have asked too, could someone make a dedicated server for the game?
Yeah, totally. It's what people do all the time. We even have server hosters who offer like Avorion servers.
Oh wow, maybe we should do that. We should talk to Hunter about seeing if we can set something like that up. That would be fun. Because we've always tried to do something like that, but we've never like found a good game to do it. Like we've tried Space Engineers, but like that game is not very good. So it never really lasts, you know. Like we'll get a server set up and people be like, "Yay!" and then they'll play it and they're like, "Oh yeah, I forgot why I don't play this anymore," and then it'll be dead.
Well, Hunter's main problem was every time they updated the game, it would break all of the mods involved.
Oh, so many mods. That's true.
Nothing would work. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's also fair. But this would be a fun server to set up, I think, because it's like you could just fly around and mine if you wanted to. You didn't really have to fight. You can like stay to the more safe sectors and mine, couldn't you? Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, for the story, you kind of have to fight because there's like bosses involved that you have to demolish, you know, in order to advance in the story. But apart from that, you're like not forced to do combat at all. You can just stay in the civilized sectors, use the gate system, trade, and there's always going to be AI ships around you that will protect you.
Oh, really? There'll be AI ships that if like there's a scrape, they might come in to help.
They're more like we're protecting our territory. You happen to be in our territory, so you happen to be protected by us. It's more like that.
Okay, that does make sense. That does make sense. Like I said, I've not gone too far away from the first main base. I think at the end of the video I recorded, I went to a sector, and there were like 4 pirate ships in it. And I'm like, oh no, I only have mining beams. Oh no. And
big mistake.
I did, and because I didn't build my ship very well, it's like your hyperdrive will be charged in 400 seconds. It's like, oh no. I'm just gonna fly. I was gonna start flying away from them, and hope that works out. Like, hopefully they won't see me or bother me. They were insulting me the whole time, which is funny. Like
yeah.
But
they weren't actually changed. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we actually changed that behavior, because before, when you jumped into like a sector where you didn't know what was there, it could happen that there were like 25 pirate ships armed to the teeth with torpedoes, just waiting for you. Like some kind of predator, just waiting for his victim, and then they would just like start shooting all at once, and you were like, what? So change that. What happens now is that you enter a sector, and there's going to be like some pirates around, and they're not going to be just waiting, like sitting there and waiting for you to get shot by them. But instead, you're going to see them. There's going to be like 3 to 5 pirates, just like you said, and they're going to be like doing something. Like they're just sitting there having a meeting and insulting you, like to provoke you. And it's also possible that they were like trying to hide something in a stash or something. And then when you go there and you start shooting them, that's when they start attacking you. So they don't immediately attack. They just like they mind their own business. And once you start attacking them, that's when they start shooting back, and then they call in reinforcements, and then you get the big fight. So because we had this issue where people would just like jump into a sector not knowing what would be there, because you can't like look into the target sector, and then they would just get blown up by 20 pirates, which is really, really fun in a game, And so in order to change all that, we changed the pirate behavior and the pirate spawning technique a little. And I think it's a lot better now. It makes more sense. It's more like in other games where you just walk around and then you see like pirates or bandits standing around a campfire, for example, like in fantasy games, say The Witcher or something. You just see them standing there, and then it's your choice. You can go there and start a fight, or you can just walk away. And this was never an option in Avorion, and that was something that was just really, really frustrating for lots of people. And that's why basically we changed all that.
It does make sense from a world building standpoint too, because you're seeing stuff happen, and you can affect whether or not that particular event is going to affect you.
Yes, exactly. It's basically your choice. You can just you can walk away or fly away, or you can go get in trouble. It's your choice. It's no longer, well, you're there. Too bad. You're gonna die.
Yeah. Hi, we're spawn campers.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have to say, I really appreciate that, because I don't want to fight. I don't know if you ever heard of the game Jumpgate. It was an old MMO, and a lot of people went and fought each other and whatnot. But I was like, no, I just want to haul rocks and whatnot. Please don't shoot me. So I never got into a fight, and I really like that's an option. Like, because I love them. You have the kind of mining I love in this game, where it's just like point a beam and shoot. You know, you don't have to deal with anything complicated like limpets or any whatever nonsense. I really like how the mining is just like point and shoot, and hoover up the materials. Like, keep it simple. I really like that, because you're going to be doing it so much. Why make it complicated? You know, you're going to be mining a lot.
We actually got a lot of requests to make it more complicated. In a way,
Whoa.
we also did. Yeah. It was like, that doesn't make any sense. You should have to like haul the ores to a refinery and all that. And basically, in a way, it was always planned to have that too. But like you said, it's just really comfortable to just sit there and point and shoot, and the asteroid breaks, and just collect the resources. But on top of that, we did something else. We had like a second set of mining lasers that have like a really, really high efficiency. So they basically just break down asteroids into ores, and then those ores, you can collect them and then bring them to a refinery, and you can like, for the extra effort that you're putting into it, you get a lot more resources. So now we kind of have both.
I
you can
see.
just in the beginning you can just mine by shooting things, and then you get like some resources dropped. But if you want to go, okay, I'm gonna do this like seriously now. I'm gonna be the best miner in the game. Just buy those raw mining lasers. That's what we call them, raw mining lasers, and then you break down asteroids into ores, which is then something you can bring to a refinery and then refine there, and then you get like 90% efficiency instead of just like 20%. So you get 90% of the asteroids ores instead of just 20%, which also makes more sense because like you have a special facility just to refine ores. You know, it's not just like a mining laser that shoots things, but you have like a specialized facility that can now refine ores. And that's basically the way, like the angle we were going with.
It makes sense. I really haven't done that much yet. I've just been like mining iron. I think iron. That's the base material to try and build.
That's the starting material.
That's all I've been doing is mining iron to try and build a better ship, because like, I don't know if you saw in the video, but like, I built not a very good design, and it's always because of the hyperdrive using way more power than I can generate. So I'm probably going to start again with another ship.
Because the more mass it has, the more energy it takes.
Yeah, because it kept telling me, you need to build something bigger. Okay, fine, I'll build something bigger. You have no energy. Oh, wow. All right. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, that stinks.
That's something that can happen, yeah. But
go ahead.
Just mine some titanium at the beginning, and then you're fine.
How do you find titanium?
I think that's something that we can communicate a little more. Yeah, you can find titanium. It's the not the yellow ore, but the orange ore, but the white ores. Those are titanium, and when you build stuff out of titanium, you can build energy generators, making the game a lot more easier.
Yeah, I saw that in the list of the blocks. I saw that there was a generator, but I didn't have the stuff. And then when I jumped to that pirate sector, I'm like, oh look, there's a silver asteroid right near 3 of them. Okay, I'm just gonna leave. So, but you could jump to any sector and hopefully find that. There doesn't have to be pirates there. Like, you can jump to an empty sector.
Yeah, totally. You can just be lucky, you know.
So the further you go out,
stuff is gonna be.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, you can go. You start in like a distance of like 450 sectors to the center.
Right.
And it's like 500 wide. No, 1,000 wide, but it's got a radius of like 500. So it's 1,000 times 1,000 sectors.
Right, and the further you go out,
how far you can go.
The further you go out, the better stuff you'll find from your original location.
Actually, the further you go in, the better stuff you find. we've got this progression towards the center of the galaxy where you always find better materials, strong enemies, better turrets, and all that stuff. So basically, the level progression is towards the center of the galaxy.
Oh, okay. So let me ask something, because someone brought this up in the chat. He said if you select all the solar panels and merge them, you'll produce more energy. So like, if I made like you saw, I made small blocks. I made small, like thin little blocks. But if for the solar panels.
That's actually the way to go.
Oh, really?
The more surface they have, the more energy they produce. So when you could, in theory, like stack them. It doesn't matter if they're exposed to like space or not, or if they're facing inwards. That doesn't matter. We kept that stuff simple on purpose. So
okay.
Make shipbuilding somewhat easier. We kept a lot of stuff a little simpler because we don't want. We're not space engineers. We're not trying to be space engineers. We're just trying to make you able to build a ship easily without like needing a PhD in physics. But that's also, it's at the same time, that's also like we're catering the game towards another audience. It's our audience is not necessarily the same audience as space engineers, and we're totally aware of that. So what we're trying to do is just give you the means to make a pretty ship, if you want to, and you don't have to like spend hours upon hours on optimizing your ship. We want you to focus on flying around with your ship. Explore the galaxy, trade, fight some bad guys, blow up some freighters if you want to be a bad guy yourself. All that kind of stuff. That's what we want to focus on.
Did you guys play other spacey building games to get like inspiration or to see what you thought they were doing wrong that you could do right? Did you guys try any other shipbuilding games while you were making Avorion?
Actually, I only played Space Engineers, and I didn't really connect with it, to be honest. What I played a lot was what's it called? X-Wing Alliance, like very old Star Wars game.
Of course.
That's something that I really enjoyed. Yeah, and I played that like a lot, and I also played the X series a lot, like X3, X Rebirth, and all that stuff. They get a lot of hate, but I actually really enjoy also the newer games. That's kind of where we get our inspiration from. But to be honest, I don't manage to actually play them a lot because every time I play them, I really want to work on Avorion again, and it's actually kind of weird,
No, that's not weird.
Every time I boot up X or something, I'm always like, oh my god, that is so great. I want that in Avorion. And then I try it out in Avorion and see if it works and all that stuff, and then I forget that I actually wanted to relax and enjoy something and not work. But that's kind of what my fate with playing Space Sims has become. In a if you want to put it in like a very really dark way, which is not really, but yeah, that's kind of what happens.
It's funny you bring up X-Wing Alliance because we love that game pretty much. We just wish it had more robust multiplayer like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter does.
Just on that note, X-Wing Alliance just had its 21st anniversary.
Oh dear Lord!
Wow.
Oh my God! What? You're right. You're right. It came out in the beginning of 1999. Oh God!
Yeah.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's 20 years ago. Oh God!
Oh boy! We're old people. We're old.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, February 28th.
But we're also getting wiser.
Yeah.
Hopefully wiser.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah, we just aged ourselves, CivCorp. Yes, we did. And we're
hi,
a lot. A lot of our audience is a bit on the older side, because space games were big in the '90s. So, definitely we're kind of on the older side here at Space Game. We have a lot of younger people too, but yeah, we're definitely a little older around here. So you won't find a lot of us playing Fortnite or.
I'd say most of us know what an Atari controller feels like.
Oh,
we had one, or in some cases, like me, we still do.
You still have your Atari? Wait a minute, you still have your Atari?
I have my 2600.
Son of a gun.
800 and Atari 800 XL, and I have all three of those in good condition.
God, I just think about those old controllers and what we put up with. But we didn't know we were putting up with anything, because it's like, oh my God, this is what we have. And then you think back, it's like, that thing barely moved. That joystick, like, wait, what? Like a quarter of an inch in each direction? Like, it barely moved, that thing. But that's what we had, and we loved it. Like, oh, this is great. And then you get to an arcade, you're like, wow, these things move around a lot. Wow, they go all over the place. This is very different. You never had the 400. Someone asked in chat if you had a 400.
No, I didn't.
I couldn't even keep track of all the Ataris back then. I had two. I had the 26 and the 5200s. Those were the only ones I had back in the day. Anyway, not to. We do go on tangents here, but we could, if you guys start talking about the 80s and 90s in terms of space games, that could be a whole show by itself. I think it has been on more than one occasion. I think it has been. So now Avorion is coming out of early access in a week or two. Like, what's the exact date?
In a week, remember. Yeah.
What's the exact date? I don't remember.
In a week, not two, even less than a week.
How does it feel to be coming out of this long tunnel? How's it feeling? How are you guys doing?
Well, we're all scared and very excited. You know, I once heard someone say that the best part about making a game is actually finishing it, you know, and shipping it, because there's something very satisfying about getting your life back in a way, you know. But yeah, it's I'm looking very much forward to it, and it's just it's a big step. Of course, we're all kind of excited and nervous, and we're polishing up as much as we can, you know, and just get rid of all the edges that are like okay for an early access game, but not for a 1.0. So yeah, that's it's quite exciting and a little scary, to be honest. But we're also doing a lot of like we're trying to get attention, you know, like media attention and all that stuff. Like that's something that we're working on a lot as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, someone in the chat said they already said they can't wait to buy it, and I know a lot of people who will not buy early access games at all. They've been burned too many times, so that's also got to be exciting. As people will see that's released in 1.0, like, oh, I can finally buy this. That's got to be exciting. But I get you to be both excited and terrified. I totally get you on that. Because it's your baby. It's what you've been working on for the last. When did you guys start? When did you start working on it? I mean, it's been in early access for years, but like even before that, how long have you been working on it?
Well, it was a hobby for about 3 years prior to Greenlight. we
prior to Greenlight. Oh my God, that's a name I've not heard in
Greenlight. Actually,
that's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Been there, done that.
Wow, Greenlight. Yeah. Oh man. Wow.
Yeah, we actually did Greenlight, but it was a hobby project of mine, you know, which I did next to my time at university, like next to my studies. Yeah, so it was just something that I was like working on because I liked it, and I went a little overboard. I made my own engine, and that slowed development down a lot. I'm just gonna say it, and so I basically built the basic foundation of the game as a hobby, and then I realized at some point, hey, I actually have a game there. Well, I could try selling it, let's see how it works. And that's when I put it on Greenlight and got greenlit. And so yeah, at that point I had been working on it for like 3 or 4 years. I'm not sure. I think I started in 2012.
Wow.
It was 2012, I think, yeah. But it was a hobby project. I was working on it like 5 to 10 hours a week, not really, nothing serious, just for fun, And so yeah, but when Greenlight happened, and then Kickstarter, we did a Kickstarter, me and Philip. I think that's also when we were first on your podcast. It should have been around that time.
Yeah, several years ago. Yeah.
So yeah, that's. Yeah, exactly, and
it's so funny.
So yeah, now we. Yeah,
it's so
Sorry,
funny.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, it's that we might start using cameras for these, not for the audience, but just for us, because that might help with interruptions. Because when you can't see each other, it's hard to know when to. But what was I gonna say was, it's so funny how like 2012 with Star Citizen and Elite and also FTL showed people, hey, people actually want space games, you guys. And so that's when a lot of people started like putting out space games. And it's funny how so many games have been finished in that time, and Star Citizen is still a goddamn wreck. I'm just gonna say it. It's a wreck. I just played it.
I've never played it. I don't know how they're doing. I have no idea.
I just played it the other day. There's a clip on the YouTube channel if you want to find it, where I was playing with another person. And half the time we couldn't see each other, even though we were in the same party. But the funniest part was when we were flying around in his ship, going at like light speed. He gets out of his pilot chair, and he clips through his own ship, and like flies out of his ship. And he's gone. He was gone. He was millions of kilometers behind the ship. Like, I'm standing in the ship watching I'm standing inside the ship watching his little icon just get further and further and further away. It's so.
Oh no!
It was so funny, but it's like it's amazing how, like, when you stay focused, like, clearly you've been focused, and clearly you've listened to feedback, but at the same time you've stayed clear to your vision, which is what you got to do.
Yeah, totally.
Because I've seen so many games ruined by listening to too much feedback. So well done, you.
Thank you. I think some people in our community might disagree, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, let them. I mean, it's your baby. It's your thing, and you've been working on it for so long. You can't let other people dictate how your thing should be made. Like,
yes, I know. It's something that's really hard to do sometimes, because at some point people are just like, I'm your customer, I deserve to get a good product and all that stuff, and then, but at the same time you have to tell those people, yes, but you're not entitled to anything that's like, and you're not entitled to anything that you wish for. That's not how it works, It's
exactly.
There are so many things that just don't work in this game, and we have tons of people suggesting landing on planets. And our response is like, sure, giving us another 3 years, and we're gonna do a second game.
Are there planets in the game?
That's the scope of what you're suggesting.
Are there planets in the game? I haven't seen planets. Wait, are there planets in the game at all?
Just background planets. They're just like eye candy. They're pretty. That's what they do.
Has someone suggested they want to get? Has someone suggested I want to walk around my ship? Like, I want to get up and walk around?
Tons.
Oh my god!
Tons of people suggest this, and it's just not doable. It's just not completely impossible. But those are like the ones that we can dismiss immediately, or we can say, like, where people usually also understand. When you tell them, we could do that, sure, but that means that we're not going to do any other thing for like 3 years. And but then there's people that suggest, like, couldn't you do like a really huge gun? I want a really, really huge gun. And that's something that we're just like, yeah, sure. That takes us like 5 minutes, just make a new weapon type. Well, not a new weapon type, but just make a separate weapon and crank up the damage values like really high, make it really big, give it like a really big laser. But the problem with this is that that's fun for 15 minutes and then it's boring because you're going to be like the Death Star forever, and then you've like reached the ultimate destroyer status. It's at this point, to keep the game interesting and to keep it challenging, we'd have to introduce enemies that like can kill you still, and the only way that this is possible would be to give those enemies the same weapons, which means that you one-shot them or they one-shot you, which is not the game that we want to do, So those are like the things that are a little more complicated to explain to people, and that's something that where we have to be aware that adding a feature just because it's easy and people wish for it is not always the best idea. It's something, and people tend to get sometimes to like we get really angry about that. We've had people who got really angry that their wish wasn't something that we would do, and it's just that I would like to explain to people that that's not how it always works. We have, like you said, we have to stay true to our vision. I have a clear vision of the game, which is actually like 100% complete now that we're nearing release, which is why now we're doing 1.0 release, because now the game is in the state that I imagined it when I first imagined it years back. Which is why we're doing 1.0 now. So yeah, that's. You're completely right to sum it up. We have to stay true to the vision, and at the same time listen to feedback, because there's also very, very good feedback. But yeah, we have to find like a good balance between adding wishes and suggestions and then staying true to the vision.
And sometimes people aren't even happy when they get what they want. That's what makes it even worse. Because they get what they want, and then they suddenly get bored of it, or it's not interesting enough to them, and suddenly the game is ruined because feedback was listened to and it was poor feedback.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you just get poor feedback or poor suggestions, and yeah. But of course, people won't be like super happy when you don't implement their feedback. So yeah, it's you can't always like.
You just can't please.
You can't. Yeah, exactly.
You can't.
Yeah, that's the phrase.
Absolutely. All right. So now that you're about to hit 1.0, we're gonna start wrapping up in a moment. But now that you're about to hit 1.0,
yeah, sure.
What are your post-release plans, if any?
So post-release plans are both free updates and probably DLCs. So we're actually getting a lot of feedback that the game is too cheap, which is really funny, and we're fixing this, guys. Don't worry. but it's something that we've gotten as feedback a lot. People like the game and people would like to get more content, of course. But at some point, we also have to. We have to think of maintaining the business, So which is why we're doing DLCs and free updates. So it's not going to be purely just free updates, but the free updates will be features that I really still want in the game, like ship-to-ship docking. That's something that I really, really want in the game, but it's not something that I want to charge people for. That doesn't sit right with me. So the DLC content will be something like major big features, and also more missions, more weapons, more content, maybe a continuation of the story, and all that. We have some plans for that, but nothing too fleshed out yet, because we want to focus on doing 1.0 first.
That seems reasonable. So, folks, Konstantin has been generous enough to give us 2 keys for the game. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a giveaway right now. And everyone in chat is eligible. So I'm still new to this, but we're going to use this game called Bloody Rally Show to run a race, a full AI race using names from the Twitch chat. And whoever's number 1 and 2 are going to be the winners of the 2 keys. So give me 1 second to set this up. And if you don't want to be included, just let me know. I'm going to paste all the names from chat, except apparently Ulrich, because he already owns the game. Thank you for letting me know. 1 sec. I will get better at this as I go. This is the first time I'm doing this, so just hang tight. Oh yeah, you don't want a copy of the game, couldn't you? You made the game, so I should take you out too.
Yeah. I think that would make sense. Yeah, I've got one or two spare keys for myself, so yeah, I'm fine.
So if you happen to be on the list and you already own the game and you still win, just let us know and we'll put the next person down on the list and they'll win it.
All right, here we go.
Okay, I really want to see what this is about, but I can feel that it's gonna be bloody.
Okay, right now, X-Filer is in front, followed by 5-0. Oh, and X-Filer is knocked out. Oh my God. Oh boy. Okay, 5-0. Oh no, wait. V&K is in the lead. V&K is in the lead. A long lead, but it's still the first lap. That could change at any moment. Oh my God, V&K has a huge lead. Oh,
sounds like
okay.
A blue shell in this game.
A blue shell? What?
Blue shell, yeah, like in Mario Kart, you know, the most annoying extra you can get.
Yeah, the game does have weapons. There's also a helicopter with weapons. But right now, V&K has a massive lead. So massive I can't even see who's in second place. I believe we're on the last lap now. Wow. I don't know what happened back there, but V&K is like V&K is miles away. And folks on the podcast who are listening to this audibly, you can watch the stream if you want to watch this. We're going to be doing more of these giveaways. That's why I'm trying to do commentary. But now that I found this tool to do giveaways, I'm going to be doing more of them. Right now, okay, V&K is our winner. Let's see who comes in second. Wow, they're way behind. Oh my God. Virgo Pros is our other winner. Well done, guys. I will be whispering you your keys in a moment. Yeah, I'll be whispering your keys in a moment. But yeah, that was fun, huh?
Yeah, I like the little tooltip, like, you know, run over a pedestrian to reload.
Oh yeah,
it was a little murdery, but yeah.
it's very murdery. Virgo Pros, you've blocked whispers from strangers, so I will have to friend you. I will have to friend you on Twitch, but yeah, I will be sending you. I'll be sending you a key soon. Let me get out of the game now. Oh, that was fun. That was fun. I will find a way to better seamlessly integrate that into the show. But I think for our first go around, that was a pretty good time. And it's a great game. So folks, the game we're talking about here is Avorion. It is going to come out of early access in a week. Is the price going up when it comes out of early access?
Yes, the price is going up a little, but not that much.
Okay, so what's going to be the final price when it comes out of early access?
I think it's going to be about 25 euros.
God, yeah, that's worth it. This game is huge. It's got single player and multiplayer, lots of content. You could mine, you could shoot, you could haul. There's a lot you can do. It's really something of an achievement. It's like we were all hoping for this game called Limit Theory, and that crashed and burned. But Avorion is now like the closest thing I've seen to Limit Theory. So it's like the real Limit Theory, really. So well done there. So folks,
Thanks.
So a couple quick programming notes before we wrap up. I'm going to be back here in 2 hours to stream some Ark, the survival game. I've never played it before, but I got a key for their new thing, Genesis, and I've never played it before, and I'm going to be terrible at it.
Oh, sounds perfect for a stream, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be awful at it, so that's going to be perfect for a stream. We're not sure what we're doing for the podcast next week. We're probably going to do a topic show, so stay tuned for that. And to finally wrap up, I want to thank you all for hanging out today. This might sound cliched, but your time is the most valuable thing you could share because there are a lot of people competing for your time. And so I appreciate you spending it with us. And I especially appreciate those who support us through Patreon. And now, because I'm a Twitch affiliate, Twitch subscriptions. So I want to thank you so much for helping us get closer to making this a full-time endeavor. Every subscription, every dollar through Patreon helps us get closer to that goal. So thank you so much. And with that, and Constantine, thank you so much for taking time out of your day.
Sure, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. And if you do more stuff, we'll probably have you back again. Like if there's a DLC pack or if there's an Avorion 2.
I'd love to.
So yeah, guys, the game is Avorion. Get it now before the price goes up when it hits 1.0 in a week. I think it's $15 right now, which is
18.
Oh, 18. That's still a steal. It's still a bloody steal. Absolute steal. So yeah, check it out. It's on Steam. Great developers. Great game. I'm going to be recording it for the YouTube channel. Oh, Marley just bought it. Thank you, Marley. Great job.
Hey, thank you.
And System in Shock just bought it.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah,
Thanks, you guys are amazing. Thank you.
2 sales.
Thank you so much.
Woo! Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, great.
Oh, that's wonderful. But yeah, we'll see you back here in a couple of hours. I'm probably going to take a nap. And then we'll see you back here in a couple of hours for the probably worst / stupidest stream of Ark you will ever see. See you all in a bit, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.